there are probably more approaches to digitization and innovation than there are banks in the world. And there are some good approaches and some bad approaches, and there's a lot of failures, and there's a few successes. So that's a nice teeing off of the first question. So what exactly is the secret sauce at Crédit Agricole, and how do you approach that digitization path for the entire group?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for the invitation. Once again, I don't know if we have a secret, but I can tell what we do. Once again, we must say we are at the forefront of the bank insurance in Europe. We are a specialist of payment, of credit cards, and we have a very strong position in our business. We have around 50 million clients for retail banking, consumer finance. What I want to, and also a great capacity to invest and to transform. The invest in technology for the group for next year will be around 50 billion. What I want to say is that the question of the digital transformation is not a new question for us. The question of data, the question of digitalization is a question since 30, 40 years. And what is new for the moment is that new technologies accelerate the movement. Yes, we have artificial intelligence, we have data analytics, we have blockchain, we have many things like that. But the great change for us is the fact that the technology changes the customer behavior. So the question for us is how find the good solution for the consumer. And in a great IT organization, in a great web organization, we are the leader on the web banking, we are leader on the mobile banking. The question for us is finally to reduce the time to market, working on the agility of the information system, opening the door to external solutions, working on the API platform of all the bank system to finally find the good solution. But what is for us absolutely central is that in our model, the place of human, the path of customer relation is absolutely strategic. And for us, the question is to combine the digital way and the human way. And at the end of the end, what we think is that the question is not to find how increase the human by the digital. The question is how increase the digital by human people and to have a relation with the people with the great value added of this human and digital interaction.
And it's, maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, right? But what you just said probably applies equally to clients and customers of the bank, right? The digital and human aspect, as well as internally with all employees of the bank, right? So any type of technology transformation just is moot, just doesn't come to fruition if you don't take into account the cultural aspect.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We spoke about artificial intelligence, but we have today 30 or 40 applications about that in every business line. I have just in front of me Bertrand Chevalier, which is CEO of Agricole Payment and Services. Every day, Agricole Payment and Services, which is a great actor in the payment, work about innovation, work about digitalization. So I think we have on this question of the digital transformation to well show that there is not, for a part, new actors, very agile, very performant in digital, and old actors which are searching the way to improve and to industrialize and to be agile. The reality is that our business model is to be an universal bank with very large business lines in many countries. We have 2,000 billion assets. So it's just necessary to see that you cannot manage a business, so large a business, without innovation processes, without a very strong digital processes.
And might it be that, on the one hand, you may have a very large banking group that is more centralized, right? And the centralization might make it more difficult for that bank to change. And then on the other hand, you might have a banking group that is more decentralized, right? Closer to the markets that they're in because of the organizational nature of the bank. And is it wrong to put Crédit Agricole on the more decentralized, closer to the markets that it is in, whether it's in France or otherwise, and that might give you a leg up on changing, digitizing internally with employees and for your clients? Or
in fact, we are not at all a centralized group. You must know that the origin of the bank is a origin of regional banks, a federation of banks. And the organization of the group is to give to each business line a very great autonomy, also for innovation and also to develop the digital transformation. It's from time to time complicated to manage a group with such a high level of decentralization. But in this way, for innovation and for the digital transformation, it's a very strong point to have this kind of organization.
And from that same token, I think that we can safely assume that a bank cannot do everything on their own, right? How do you approach the types of partnerships and the type of ecosystem that you need to develop to get to where you want to go on your path?
On n'entend pas très bien. Je ne sais pas si on peut fermer la porte. Can we shut the door? Because it's difficult to listen questions. No, I say again, the question of innovation is not a new question. We innovate when it was the question of the bancarization. We innovate when it was a question of giving a credit card for each one. We innovate when it was a question of the web access for all the public. And we continue like that. And the difference between the innovation in the 60s, the 70s, and now is a question of open innovation. And the way for us was, I think, to be probably at the beginning of the movement of open innovation in banks. In 2010, we created the first open innovation platform banking in the world, what was called Crédit Agricole Store.
Again, which year? So that the people...
What?
In which year did you start this?
2010.
2010.
2010. It was the beginning of the startup movement, the API development. We create the first village incubators in Paris in 2014. We create a working shop in Agricole Technology et Services in the same time. We create a data lab. We create the Fabric, a startup studio to accelerate and industrialize creation of a startup. So we are fully in open innovation, and we don't choose between internal solutions and external solutions. We know we have to combine both, but with a very great autonomy for each business line and the banks all over the world. And also to understand that when we work in open innovation, we can only work with startup or fintechs able to go to the industrialization with us and to have a strong business model. You cannot, when you have 50 million clients, when you have a so regulated activity, you cannot work with not very strong solutions. This is a difficulty from time to time to develop a relation with startup and fintech. But by the way, we have many relations. We created a fund 2 years ago to invest in startup and fintech for strategic investment. We have announced this morning we take 85% of the capital of Linkso, which is a French startup specialized in aggregation and personal finance management and also instant payment to give new services to our clients, but also to work more with other startup and fintechs to have a kind of door, a kind of hub to develop a relation between startup fintechs and Agricole, and many others relation. I think about WeSave, robot advisor. I think about the Green Data, which is a startup working on the data for agriculture and agro business. With Mimosa, also, which is working on the lending for a very innovative project. So, and I feel this position of innovation is recognized. We have in 2 days the result of the annual ranking of day rating, and I suppose we will be at a very high level on the point of innovation and working on open innovation.
Congratulations. Our time is either up or almost up, but I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you can answer. So, to the extent that you can, without divulging anything that you shouldn't, could you share with us 1 or 2 examples of really exciting projects that you're working on, maybe on a no-names basis, kind of like in general terms, for the coming years?
Yes, I have 2 or 3 examples. I want to speak about what we try to do with our startup studio. And we have Laurent Darmon here, CEO of the startup studio La Fabrique. This is a kind of hybridation of external and internal innovation. And the way for us is to propose new services with banking services and also extra servicing, extra banking services. We call it Je suis entrepreneur, and a door to develop a project of creation of a company creation. We develop also another solution between internal and external innovation with Yapla, which is a solution for association. 2 very good and strong innovation. And I have another example of this dynamic of innovation. It's the announce, the 12th of February, the launch of Globetrotter, which will be a very great and strong solution for young people crossing the world, studying in the world, with a very low price, and all the servicing, all the insurance, all the capacity to help people worldwide with a very strong and great solution. just to show
I'm
that...
going to go back to university.
Yeah, if you want. Just to show that you can be very large and also be very agile and very innovative.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Time is up.